we have certainly had a challenging week. I would tell you that it's like nothing I ever expected to see in Fredericksburg, but I do believe that we are making progress. I'll start on a high note to tell folks that just concluded what I'm told, a very good, productive meeting with your citizen advisory panel. And before I go much farther, let me tell folks who may not be familiar with that panel what that panel is. Basically, in 2015, the Fredericksburg Police Department established a citizen advisory panel. The advisory panel was created to facilitate two-way communication between the Fredericksburg Police Department and stakeholders in the community it serves. The goal of the citizen advisory panel is to enhance community relations through creating a climate of trust between community and the Fredericksburg Police Department by enhancing awareness of the department's policies, procedures, and programs, and to provide a forum for the chief of police to actively listen to concerns regarding police services or social problems and find solutions by working together. There's been no point in the 5 years of its existence that we have needed this body more than now. The body does include Reverend Jarvis Fairley, Ms. Meredith Beckett, Dr. Marcy Catlett, Ms. Sabrina Johnson from University of Mary Washington, PJ Zielinski from Lafayette Elementary School, as well as Reverend Hatchmel Turner. We have asked that group to come together and begin to, instead of meeting quarterly, meet weekly moving forward. Clearly, we're going to need a lot of their assistance. Basically, what we're going to do is follow our traditional procedure where, as we speak, the police department is working through volumes of information, including hundreds of hours of tape from their body-worn cameras. That information will be produced and presented to the Citizen Advisory Panel. I can't tell you when, but that's a work in progress. That group, that third-party group of folks, will review that information and then we'll release it to the public. It's very important that the community understand that we have acknowledged that we have received numerous questions, a lot of them very important questions, and we expect to answer them. I do ask for a little bit of patience on that as we work through, again, what is volumes of information coming our way and a list or several lists of demands. We certainly want to get into that and do it right. So, again, we ask for a little bit of patience. I will certainly announce as soon as we have a timeline for that. I'll announce to council and make that public so folks have an expectation set properly. I'm very excited about their taking on this charge. The meeting today was fully focused on immediately, first and foremost, immediately getting with the protesters, the demonstrators in our community so that we can begin a face-to-face dialogue. I'm not prepared to announce the date, but I understand a day later this week is being considered, and we'll announce that as soon as we firm that up. We're certainly going to make that available to a group of folks who are anxious, obviously, to interact with city leaders. So more to come, and we're going to follow the Stafford model. In fact, we've asked Vernon Green, who has done this work in Stafford County just over the past several weeks. He's a business owner in Stafford County, believed he could offer some value as a volunteer, stepped up, and basically what he did was coordinate with the support of county government an opportunity to get in front of protesters that had questions, concerns, comments for that community. And it's quite simple. They had two Board of Supervisors members, two school board members, the county administrator, the Sheriff Decatur, and a couple other folks as far as the leaders. And then he created a lottery system where protesters, demonstrators could come and check on his website to get access, a ticket essentially, to this program. That went off, I'm told, very well. That happened last Friday. Again, we want to copy that. I don't think there's any need to reinvent the wheel. We desperately want to get in front of these folks who've got concerns in our community, and we're working to do just that, again, through the process that I've just outlined at a high level. More information will be forthcoming tomorrow, and certainly we'll make that information public so folks know how to access this conversation. Let me also add that several of the organizers were at the meeting tonight. So Mr. Cam Coates, for example, we're grateful for his participation in tonight's conversation. Again, by all accounts, that meeting went very well, and I believe we're heading in a good path. It's very important, as I've stated, that we get this work done so that we can produce it and distribute it to this community in a transparent way. I wish I could offer you a timeline, but again, that's still in formation at this point. I would tell you, Madam Mayor, that we certainly want to learn from this past week so that we as a community never repeat the issues that transpired this week. I will tell you that we can learn a lot from each other, and I'm really anxious to sit face to face with folks who've got issues, legitimate issues about the way we do business. I want to understand through this reporting, again, what we've done well, what we can improve on, and what we did not do so well, or quite frankly, messed up. And we're not going to shy from offering that information to this community, and we're going to own it. And again, if it needs improvement or repair, we're going to fix it. That's my commitment to this community. I did offer a message to the community. I certainly won't belabor that message, but I do draw it to people's attention. I have some thoughts I've shared, and I did that this past weekend. That information can be found at fredericksburgva.gov. With that, Madam Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions. Let me just say, as we speak, I understand there's a peaceful protest happening as we speak, again, on the sidewalks of the city of Fredericksburg. Chief said to me the other day that we can support those for months to come. We very much want to do that. We just ask folks to do that lawfully so that we're assured that we're able to protect the safety of protesters in our community. We certainly desperately want to do that. With that, Madam Mayor, I'm happy to answer any questions.
I'm muted. Any questions? Vice Mayor Withers.
Madam Mayor, I don't have a question, but as all of you know, we had some one-on-ones with the chief today and with the city manager. And we also got a chance to watch a demonstration that went on yesterday. I just want to commend our police department on handling that. They took some pretty hard abuse yesterday in what was really an illegal demonstration, but they showed restraint. I think people need to understand that their main concern is about our citizens' safety, those ones who are protesting. And when you walk along the middle of a road, it's hard to protect everyone. I think the greatest speaker, our chief and our police department and all of us, is that someone's going to roll along who doesn't have self-restraint and to do some harm to these. The ones that were there yesterday, I think 90% of them were young children. So I hope the public keeps in mind that our police department is doing a yeoman's job in trying to protect these people. We're all in on peaceful protests, but danger, when bringing danger to the citizens by walking down a highway, I hope people to take a second notice of that. So thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any other, Councilor Duffy?
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, City Manager, Mr. Baroody. I just want to echo some of the concerns that I've heard about. I'm sorry, I'm echoing. Okay, I just want to say that I am very concerned about the safety of the demonstrators moving in the highway without advance notice, without the protections that are necessary to keep them safe. I'm also very supportive of the demonstrators and their purposes and their, certainly without a doubt, their right to free speech and promote the values of the Black Lives Matter movement, but very worried and concerned about the safety of people of all ages who are, traveling in the street, on one-way streets, going the wrong way, it's just, I just worry about tragedy that might befall us. And so I urge all the demonstrators to work with the city staff to promote a strong protest that is safe for everyone, and especially the demonstrators. I think that's the message that's coming out from city staff, from the police department. And I'd also like to add that I appreciate the city manager's full expectation that we will get a very transparent review of what has gone on in recent days. We owe it to the citizens of Fredericksburg. We owe it to our police department that we all learn from this, hold each other to the highest standards. And so I'm grateful for his leadership, and that's, you know, we are of one mind in this city about this review process. And again, I just implore people who want to see change to pursue activities that are going to be safe for everyone involved. Thank you.
Council Devine.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear. Thank you, Madam Mayor. I guess Dr. Duffy just basically said what I was going to help reiterate, but we want to hear the message. We want to be receptive to the message that's out there, and that's being broadcast loud and clear. And so it is absolutely, you know, part of us as council members and members of the community to be listening. And I guess I want to make sure that people are safely getting the message across, because that's the important piece. We don't want to focus on some other tragedy or some other thing locally when, you know, just being able to hear the message and respond to the message is most important in my mind. And again, I do appreciate the lessons that we are learning and will learn as we go through this. It's been a trying experience for everybody. Again, in a positive way. You know, seeing people energized and seeing people come together is so powerful. But we are going to certainly learn from things that could have happened better. You know, things we did that we shouldn't have done, things we didn't do that we should have done. And again, we are going to have that transparency. I think the fire chief, the police chief, and our city manager have absolutely been, you know, open as far as saying there'll be a full review of everything. And again, I'd like to also say that, you know, hearing some of the chants and the messages, it's not real. I don't think it's really directed at our local police and first responders. People are frustrated around the country, and that's a way of getting the message across. But in support of our local first responders, our police and fire, I'd like to say that, you know, I think what I've heard from many people is that there's a lot of support there for our local personnel. And so, again, absorbing some of the anger and distrust and you know, fear people have is part of that job. And so I just want to say that I appreciate our first responders and the work that everybody's doing to keep people safe and help get the message through. So thank you.
Council Fry.
Thank you, Mayor Greenlaw. And I have an item for council agenda, so I don't want to speak twice, you know, to jump in on this one. So I just wanted to make a note of that, Mayor Greenlaw. Thank you.
These events of recent days and weeks represent a legitimate and honest outcry against police brutality and racial profiling, which does exist and unfortunately has existed for far too long in this country. But we appreciate the sincerity of this message. I appreciate the protesters that I've personally talked with or have seen who genuinely love this city and care about it and want to make it better. We want to make it better too. Fortunately, here in Fredericksburg, we've had a good track record. Our police department has had a good track record. Excuse me. Let's see if I can get rid of that. We all regret the tear gas. That is not typical or acceptable here, and Chief Layton would be the first to say that. But subsequently, I commend our policemen and women for being patient and working with the protesters to enable peaceful demonstrations and to keep them safe. This is a time to step up, step out, and do it now. And I'm quoting our city manager when I say that. I've received many letters and emails. All of you have. I've got a letter here that we probably may hear from tonight. It's got 23 questions in it. We will be transparent about the review of events and informative in answering all these questions and letting people know. I know that the 8 points that so many people have sent to me, most of those are already in our policies, but the citizens don't know. And they need to know, and they will know. And we will be leaning on our community advisory panel, our citizen advisory panel. And I'm so glad that they're willing to step up to the mark and help us with this and help the chief with this. But I want, and I know we all do want, the members of this community to know that you are being heard. We acknowledge you. We acknowledge the validity of the concerns. Now we need dialogue to know what is wanted and what is needed in order to take necessary and desired actions. And as Mr. Baroody said, we're working to do that in the immediate future. But we need your help. You, the community's help. All of you. We need you to listen to each other. We need you to talk with each other and to support our city and to love your neighbor as yourself.